Another review. We just did one. We're doing another. You don't know that because I don't know when these are going to go up. They could go up like a week apart, a day apart.
It's the same session.
Like 5 minutes.
They're not going to get edited that fast.
No, they won't.
Well, actually
it depends because we're doing it separately. Cause
I don't even have anything to do this weekend, so maybe this video is going to drop now. I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter which order. Anyways, we're doing Monster Hunter World, which just released. I forget the date.
Like
but
a month ago.
Yeah, released like a month ago. Released on Xbox One, PS4, PC, everything. Not PC.
Not on PC, really.
Is it
PC
coming
is
out
later,
on PC?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's like a GTA.
Probably on Switch.
Yeah, they're porting it. No, it's not on Switch. Switch couldn't run that.
Switch can run. It can run 2K. No, 2K doesn't take that much power.
Skyrim.
We're not going to talk about 2K.
It lags on 2K. It lags on 2K.
It lags on 2K on Xbox. What do you mean? 2K's
it lags
trash.
on like not online on 2K.
It just lags.
Facts.
Like
it doesn't have processing power.
Anyways, if you don't know what Monster Hunter World is, it's part of obviously Monster Hunter series, but you don't need to play any of the old ones.
Series is somewhat iconic.
It's iconic for not being iconic.
Yeah, that's a good way.
It's a part of a lot of people's childhoods. I never really considered playing it until these dudes were talking about getting it, and I'm like, I'll hop on. I don't see why not.
It's definitely more of a successor than a sequel to the series, I would say. Because it doesn't really have a lot to do with any of the other games.
I don't really know if there's I don't even know if there's even plot.
Is there really a plot?
I don't know if there's
there
continuity.
plot to these games?
Like, there's a little bit of a plot, but like...
Oh yeah, another
there's
thing...
plot within the game. I don't know, like...
Another thing that we should point out...
But like, even in the game, there's like only a little bit.
Because,
there's really
because there's like no plot, we're not having our spoiler part. We're going to just... It's all going to be one thing. We're probably going to give our reviews at the same time, and then talk more afterwards.
True.
So that if you just want to get like through the idea of the game and then to the review, you can do that. But as far as the game goes, you go to you are a hunter, and you go from the old world, I guess, to the new world, which is inhabited by a ton of monsters, and you are part of the 5th Fleet.
Yes.
There were 4 before you because that's basic math.
No, it's not. 2 + 2 is 4 - 1. That's 3.
Quick math.
Boom. Big shot. What's up? It's Tim Westwood in the morning.
Whoever's editing this, put Big Shack right there.
London's so unruly.
I want you to put Big Shack right there, and then put Shaquille O'Neal right there.
The real Big Shack.
And then put Anthony Joshua right here.
Thank you. And then put Deontay
It's
Wilder.
Gonna be one,
and then put Deontay Wilder standing
right
over
there,
him.
right
just
there.
all over the screen.
Deontay Wilder.
Okay. So
I want a body on my
it's
record.
It is a third-person action RPG. It relies a lot on killing very, very large monsters and then taking them for resources.
It's basically repeated boss battles.
Yeah. It's a lot of grinding for materials in order to build like better weapons, better armor, etc.
Now, if this sounds extremely repetitive, it is.
It's repetitive, but it does it.
But
it has a charm to it.
It's enjoyably repetitive.
The game is nice.
Yeah.
Still,
it is enjoyable. Every fight is different. I will say every fight is different. It's not like you just go into a It's not like you go into a boss fight room and you just sit there in the room.
Yeah.
You go out into like the world, like a zone, and all the zones are pretty big. They're decently big.
They're very well made.
And then there's multiple monsters, like multiple
beautiful
big monsters. Yeah.
Beautiful environments.
Graphics wise,
Coral Forest, like top 5.
Put a picture.
Top 5 levels I've ever seen in video games.
We keep putting so many pictures in these damn videos.
Gorgeous.
It is, yes.
Yeah, and then they ruin it with having a monkey bird.
Oh, the fucking
Troy
Polamalu. Put a picture of that monster and then put a picture of Troy Polamalu.
Put a picture of that monster
right next to each other.
Put a picture of that monster with Troy Polamalu on its head.
Someone better learn how to do Photoshop.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, I got you, fam. Don't worry.
He's gonna do this one. I'll do it.
You can just cut.
Yeah, I'm gonna just cut Troy Polamalu out, put him on there.
As far as the
5-second Photoshop,
I would say that the best thing visually about the game for me actually was the different unique monster designs.
The monster designs are incredible.
The monster designs. There is a monster called the Diablos, and it looks exactly as it sounds. It looks like Satan.
It's satanic.
Like it looks like the first time I saw it. These two were in the party, and I was yelling, screaming, "What the fuck is that?"
Like Nergigante is amazing.
Yeah, the Odo Garin.
Otto Garin.
Otto Garin looks very good.
pretty sick.
Rathalos even looks pretty good. Anjanath,
yes.
Tobi-Kadachi.
Tobi-Kadachis are those are really cool. I don't like fighting them. They're really annoying. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
The Legiana is my favorite.
Very, very elegant looking. It's visual.
The armor looks really good.
Yes. Like visually, it is visually a very appealing game. You make the armor is basically set up in monster sets.
Yes.
So like Legiana, Anjanath, these are all monsters that you fight. As far as the story goes, we kind of touched on it. I'll touch on it a little bit more. Basically, a new fleet is sent over to the world in following in the trail of what is known as an Elder Dragon. Yeah. I believe every fleet is sent in pursuit of an Elder Dragon.
I have no
fucking the story is not a big part of it necessarily. It makes for good fights. Like you fight this gigantic Elder Dragon, and some of it's actually pretty good. Like the fights are unique.
Zora Magdaros might be the most annoying thing you fight.
I didn't fuck with the final boss battle. I'ma just say
it was
that was trash.
Yeah,
but it was trash. You don't even actually fight. You don't fight it because it's too massive.
Yeah.
So you just kind of run around and plug in at these cannons, right?
Yeah.
The cannons do the damage for you, and then at a certain point you can go down and hit it with a big ass drill that's on the side of the boat.
The Dragonator.
That does a ton of damage. But like, really, it's not the kind of you don't even feel accomplished when you do it because there's no risk of death.
Well, the other thing
it's not dangerous at all.
When you
it's just they fucked it up, but it's cool.
Like I haven't even got to halfway towards failure.
Yeah.
And I've played it like 3 times.
Oh, yeah, because you can fight it multiple times. Yeah. The other thing is when you fight it, you don't even see it die. It just goes out into the ocean. Which, you're supposed to be pursuing this thing because this thing's basically a walking time bomb that's going to kamikaze the entire island. Mm-hmm. And you've been pursuing it this whole time. It's why you're here.
You are now doing the plot, though.
This is one.
I mean, you might as well. Tell the people what they're getting if they purchase the game. You know?
But the main point of the game is not the plot, but it's the fighting dynamic. Every weapon has different move sets. Every weapon has different move sets, different abilities. You can build like. True. I prefer fire weapons personally.
It's somewhat based on preference, and it's somewhat based on pure damage output. Go for damage. Don't fuck with any of the other.
The armor
only get things for looks. Damage doesn't matter at all. If you're skilled like me, it doesn't matter. You'll win anyway.
This nigga sucks.
Now, one thing actually that doesn't matter for level.
Probably play Smash Bros with Reggie, and everybody knows Smash Bros players smell like shit. So
there you go.
The armor.
Like that.
Tip if you're going to get into it, you can upgrade your armor to no matter what the armor is to any armor rating.
I like a lot because if you have an armor set that you fuck with, you don't have to.
Because you use so many of them.
You use a lot of armor. It's a lot of grinding if you want to do that. But I mean, I thought
the armor they all have unique looks.
The armor set I liked was super clean.
Every set has a very unique look. Some of the sets have like set perks where if you have 3 from the same set, it gives you a perk. Every armor has a perk like increased fire damage, increase like resistance, increase health, etc.
The perks were clean.
Yeah,
a lot of the perks are like really. Some of them are just like generic like health and damage boosts. Those are
some of them are very specific.
Some of them are very specific.
Like Leap Master,
which is Slugger. Personally, my favorite. It gives you an increased stun chance based on how many pieces you have that have Slugger. Pretty incredible.
One thing I liked a lot. As far as like the battles go, like we can try to focus on like the fighting now. Lock-on system's not great.
The lock-on.
We've discussed
you're not meant to lock
You
on.
Don't really lock on. Like I normally will. I will normally move the stick in the direction of the enemy, and I'm fine.
It's supposed to be the whole world, so you don't lock on. You're in the world.
Why is there a dot?
Yeah.
No, because
the lock-on system doesn't stay. It goes after a win.
They make it seem like you can dodge really effectively, and you can't.
I mean, you.
No, you can't. It barely works.
You do get invincibility frames with dodges.
Barely.
Yeah, but it's still
that timing is pixel per. This shit is like I had an easier time dodging monster attacks in fucking Bloodborne than I had in this fucking game. That's not to say that this game is hard.
No, yeah,
by any stretch. There's a difficulty spike in there. It's like the second to last thing that you fight in this progression of the story.
There is,
still,
yeah, which we can get into that with like
There a lot of the like high level stuff is pretty hard.
But as far as like the fighting goes, basically, when you fight the monsters, you'll fight them. They will go to an open area. You will fight them a little bit in the open area. They will leave, which can get fucking frustrating because if you go out into the world on what's called an expedition, which is basically bless you, which is basically just like free roam, like bless you. If you're basically just roaming around the world and you find a monster and you want to fight it, the problem is it will leave if you don't kill it in enough time.
Yes.
So if you,
oh my god,
That's kind of sad.
if you just fought the monster in the story, like you just finished beating this monster in the story quest that introduces the monster, and you're like, wow, it has like it has just what I need to upgrade my weapon, or it has really good armor set, and you go out into the world to try to fight it, you could be fighting it for a solid half an hour, have it like 3 hits away from death, and it runs away and leaves the area, and all that progress is gone.
You got to do the investigations.
You do, yeah. And then even the investigation, sometimes it's like beat it in 15 minutes, and it takes you like 7 minutes to find it, because it's a Rathalos that flies away even when you shoot at it.
remember that one quest we fucking tried to do?
Yeah.
This shit was not happening, bro.
I did that. I did it in the end.
You ended up finishing
I
it?
ended up doing it solo, but it was fucking hard. Like, I got lucky by finding him early on, and I beat the shit out of his head.
Let me tell you why Rathalos is bullshit. Have you ever been on Hayden? Have you ever been on fire,
And then
Poisoned,
and stunned at the same time?
while he's picking you up and throwing you
Exactly.
against a wall?
and then you just
I mean, have
that's
you
all
ever
your
just
health.
been stunned by the Kobe Kadashi and then he just jumps on you in his lightning enhanced mode and you're just like, one shot.
That's all your health. It's all your health. Fuck.
Now, one thing that makes the monster fights a lot of fun is if there are other monsters in the area, making them interact with each other. Like in the Coral Highlands, there's the one that has the blinders.
I love the first time I saw that a Bareth was fighting a fucking what's the weird the water slug dinosaur. It's a Gyarados or some shit. It has a dinosaur name, but that shit was crazy.
Yeah, something.
Gyran.
Well, like what I like is in the there's a monster whose name I'm forgetting, unfortunately. But it basically it like puts out its like it.
Oh, that's like
A
Reese
Tsitsiyaku.
Yes, it does the Jurassic Park thing where like it has like a mane of it basically has a mane, but it flashes light,
Flashback.
which if it stumbles
Go out, take him
it's
out.
it is basically a flashbang. But if you're fighting another monster and you can get out of the range of the flash, it will flash the monster and stun the monster that you're fighting. So that is great if you're in that area.
Yeah.
But it's really fun to like see, like if you see like a Rathalos fighting like another monster, it'll just pick it up and like slam it on the ground and like breathe fire in its face. So like visually, that's really fun to like just kind of sit back and watch.
And shit like that does happen like pretty
Semi-regular.
consistently. So
And it helps you when you're fighting.
yeah.
It does a ton of damage.
Yeah.
Depending on what.
Yeah,
Depending on which side you're trying to kill.
I've actually finished like many Legiana by making them get flashed by.
I do that all the time.
Tsitsiyaku.
Yeah.
So.
Like the fighting is it's very dynamic. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot. It is not a game that you can play through without like keeping track of your inventory and buffs. That's definitely something you need to take into account.
It's pretty deep.
Like in Skyrim,
It's deep, but it's shallow on the surface.
You need to be able to
Like,
utilize
it's
it,
shallow,
but there's only so many different buffs really. But you need to be able to keep them like accounted for.
It seems like there are a lot of items, but a lot of them really don't do that much. So it's kind of like, you know. There's like 8 trillion different items you can use to enhance your character, but like not that many of them are really all that effective.
All right. So we just talked about like the fighting. The inventory is pretty like self-explanatory, like we just kind of said.
Yeah.
A lot of like
you do have unlimited monster part inventory, which is really nice.
Yeah.
You do.
Which is and then
I hate having to
as far as monster
Like
parts,
The Witcher, that was one of my favorite things about The Witcher.
I hate having to leave rare shit behind.
So many alchemical
That makes me
ingredients.
so mad.
They didn't weigh anything.
as far as like materials go, just to kind of go back into the fighting, you can break parts of a monster, which basically means you cripple it in some way or you stop it in some way.
And you get a bonus from doing that.
Yeah, you get a bonus from doing that. If you were to hit the tail enough, you can actually break the tail off and then loot the tail for materials.
Yes.
And then
What I was gonna say, what I really like about that is that a lot of times it changes the fight.
It changes the
drastically.
If you cut off the tail, it doesn't do its tail attacks
which
anymore.
every monster has a fucking tail attack.
The monster we were talking about that
they all do a front flip.
Well, you know how the Sitsuyaku, it flashes, right? But if you hit the wings on the side, it doesn't do that attack anymore. Like, I really like... So it basically is just a regular dinosaur-type mob now at this point.
Like, the Diablos has these big horns where you can't really hit it on the head. But if you can knock the horns off, you can actually do damage to it if you hit it on the head. Which is nice. But then, as far as, like... There are rare material and then not rare material. Like, well, it's all rare. But there's differing, like, rarities. Which, like, the higher level weapon... Like, if you want to make, like, a level 5 weapon in, like, a tree... Like, there's a lot of different weapon trees, which we kind of touched on before. But you can get materials from, like Hayden said, there are these things called investigations, which basically sends you out into the world. It gives you a time limit. It says that you can die, like, X amount of times. And it says, kill this monster. And if you do that, it will give you all the materials you get for killing the monster, which is you get 3 from the monster's body every time that you kill a monster. Like, you can loot it 3 separate times, and it'll give you 3 separate things. But then, for every investigation, it also gives you 3... It gives you 3 bonus ones for completing it, and those can change in a rarity. There's bronze, silver, gold rarity. Mm-hmm. And so, you can also... So that's... Yeah. I mean, that's the main grinding part, is getting those materials, which it's a crapshoot.
But they let you have a wish list, so that helps out.
Yeah, you can keep track of, like, what you need.
That really does help you remember what you need.
I guess it's not really a crapshoot, because it actually, if you break certain parts, you are more likely to get certain material.
Check your survivor notes, and you can see how you obtain the materials. If you want to capture it, if you want to actually kill it.
Yeah, we should.
You want to hit.
Yeah, I was gonna say getting into capturing it.
Yeah.
That's you can weaken them and then, like, stun them and then trap them, and then you can fight them in an arena, I believe.
I've never done. I haven't messed with that.
Oh,
but
have you?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
they should go to your arena where you can fight them at a later time.
Yeah.
I find the end game extremely tedious on there. I haven't played in a minute.
I haven't.
That's one thing. Like, after I finish the game, I am no longer.
Yeah, we should
the main story, but not the.
We'll probably.
Yeah,
we'll put some disclaimer at the beginning, but we should have mentioned that before. This is more of a review in progress, because it's an RPG. We're not going to be done with it officially ever, so we can't, like, and it's a big game. It is a very big game, so we can't talk about all aspects of it.
I'm 40 hours in. I don't know where you guys are at.
50
as far as play
I think that we're all 30 to.
I'm at 40.
30 to 50. I would say the rate.
I don't know, but like 50.
I'm fairly confident that I'm done with the game. I'm probably gonna pick it up at some point again, but I'm mostly...
much less than the couple thousand hours I have in Skyrim. But you know,
are you gonna plug Skyrim every single review? You should do that. Just somehow pull it in. So, but one thing that we have yet to talk about,
I'm gonna throw up Crip,
which I think that this is an important thing, especially.
We need to let these people let me do a Skyrim playthrough on the channel.
We probably will.
You know,
we probably will. We'll just have to mod the shit out of it.
It has to be done.
But one thing that I think, if you're actually watching this legitimately for a review, and if you are, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Each person does a Skyrim playthrough.
I mean, I never said no, so
yeah.
I
never.
Each person does a separate playthrough.
True.
We're doing that.
No, speedrun the story.
We're doing that.
The torch method, the Olympic torch method, bro.
You have to get those plates and just. Now we're not even talking about Monster.
No, yeah,
that's gonna happen.
That's
happening.
We're probably getting way over time.
That's happening.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Are we getting into final verdicts, or is there anything else you want to say?
I was gonna say a big thing that, like, which was a big selling point for the game is the co-op and multiplayer.
Yes.
Which doesn't work as well, so we should.
Yeah.
It does not work.
So the problem with the so basically
actually they might have updated it, but I don't. From when we played, it didn't work as well.
The co-op and multiplayer is in, like, I'm trying to basically the way that it actually works is you can do investigations with people.
That works fine.
Which works perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. And you can play with your friends, play up to four friends, and it's pretty fun if you actually get into it.
It's interesting because you can actually hit your friends. That doesn't do damage to them, but it stuns them for like half a millisecond.
You can flick people up into the air to get them onto the monster's back.
They did a good job with their actual.
The dynamics of co-op is very good.
Yes.
The problem is, a lot of people wanted to play through the game with friends. They wanted to play through the story with friends. The problem with that is they have what is known as an SOS system, which is during the mission. If Hayden were to go into a mission, and I wanted to join him, and it was a story mission, I would not be able to until Hayden got through the cutscene and then sent out an SOS, which would allow me to join him for the actual battle. The problem is, it doesn't count for me.
You can't progress together.
Yes. Which I think...
Should have left that fucking beckoning bell bullshit in Dark Souls. That's what they should have done.
I think that was definitely a major,
Yes.
That was a miss for me.
It would have made it much better.
Yeah.
It's enough for me, dog.
Another problem is they have this big hub world, and you can join other people's games through the hub world, but you can't see them. So that's
you're all by yourself.
The game was sold, at least to me, as a very big co-op game, so I was excited to be able to play it with people. But it turns out it's not that friendly in terms of actually being able to play with people. Like, the investigations are fun when you do them. I think we can all attest to that. Yeah. But it would be a lot more fun if there were, which they may add this, but raids.
That would be so fun.
Give you a multi-hour raid, kind of like in Destiny. That would actually be kind of fun.
8 people to fight
if you can have 8 people in and they're okay, there's this one monster that's big, but to get it we have to fight all these smaller monsters to find clues.
But you see, if you think about that means adding a new monster every time, because you don't want to just have a big...
Well, you can just have a big orange Rathalos. They already changed the colors of them to make them... Yeah, which is another... Yeah, I know.
I mean, I don't think that's as cool if you do stuff.
No, I agree. They definitely should make unique.
That is a lot of work, though.
Yeah, but I mean, all in all, the co-op's fun if you are in the mood for it. But it's just
you have to deal with a lot of
you got to deal with a lot of jumping through hoops, and then there's not much to the multiplayer in terms of actual outlets and capabilities. Doing investigations is fun with friends and all, but Jared and I tried one that we couldn't do together, and then I did it alone and did it fine.
It does scale up difficulty.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily make it easier having 2 people in a party.
Yeah.
No benefit. No benefit.
So benefit is fun, not...
Yeah, the benefit is being fun and fun moments, which we did have.
I didn't have very much fun getting bodied alive by that fucking.
Yeah, probably because you're mad because bad.
I am mad because bad. I got fucking wrecked because the combat doesn't work. The stiff ass lock on system.
All right, so
these two don't lock on apparently. It's a force of habit. I've played way too many third-person action games.
I abandoned locking on.
You have to have skill.
Okay,
so
final verdict time. We will go from left to right this time.
Okay.
Because we went from right to left last time, and I'm spicing it up.
It's like a B, I think, because it does have pretty good actual combat. It's one of the... I actually enjoyed it for the first 35 hours, and then it kind of fell off for me right from there. So, if I would have reviewed it at 30 hours, I'd probably give it an A. But it's so repetitive to a point where nothing new is really happening, where it gets pretty boring for me at least.
All right. I give it. I'm gonna give it a B plus just because, like Hayden said, it is a very repetitive game, very fun. It's got a good mood and tone to it almost. Or even though you're killing these monsters just to get cooler shit and to get a nicer hat for your cat, it still somehow has a cheerful tone when you're fighting monsters, and you can see them limping with their tail cut off, and even then the art style just makes you think all right, it's whatever. But the reason
it's not a dark.
Yeah, it's not dark. No, it's not meant to.
Not what I would call violent in the slightest.
Yeah, which is odd considering that you're hacking away.
Considering what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
There's not actually blood though, is there?
No,
there's a bleed status effect, but there's no blood.
There's no blood.
Yeah, okay.
But the reason I give it a B plus is it's a very grind based RPG. But I've played through Destiny. I've played through Destiny 2. I enjoyed both of them, so I've become a little numb, I guess, to that.
I mean, but Destiny's co-op was so much better.
Yeah, which is
how I got to play.
That was the saving grace. If it gives me something cool to work towards, then that I can actually feasibly get, then I'm okay with the grinding. But like you said, when you reach a certain point, it basically resets where you have to refight all the monsters, but they're harder now, and so you have to rediscover new materials, which kind of puts a wrench in the works of being able to actually progress.
It's like an MMO. You don't feel like the progress is really quite there.
Yeah, like you don't like after you beat the main dragon and it all resets. The progress the progress slows down immensely compared to before.
Like all the NPCs are like, "Wow, you're so cool," but you're like, "Am I really?"
But then you go out there and you get like slapped in the face.
I still feel like I don't do shit for damage. Like I'm at what could be considered the end game, and I still feel like I don't do shit for damage.
They could fix it, I think, in patches and updates. They could add new things. It is a very new game, and it is I guess you could call it an MMO.
MMO type.
Yeah, it's
action RPG.
it is an online.
The combat is MMO-esque.
Yes. It's an online
in that
game.
it kind of works marginally.
I mean,
okay.
and not really MMO-esque because you don't have like the abilities and weird stuff.
It's not like a point.
It's
It's not like a point and click style thing either.
Yeah.
So it's kind of not MMO-esque.
That was a bad description. But I mean, I think it's
weird.
MMO-esque in terms of the timing of patches because they have a lot to focus on servers.
Yeah, it has the grindiness of MMOs.
Yeah, it does. But I think that like it could get better. We said that about our last review, Overlord, or the next review, whenever this comes out. But
yeah, don't date the review.
Yeah,
No one
I apologize.
out.
But
Stop.
Yeah, Kevin's a hoe.
I am a hoe.
Use a hoe.
It can definitely. I liked it at the beginning, much as Hayden did. I'm hoping that it gives me a reason to go back to it. B+.
All right. It's a B- for me. The reason it's a chill.
It's just funny
Okay.
that it was B+, B-.
It's not that deep. It's a
Should
B.
have sat in the middle.
True.
Split the gap.
All right. It's a B- for me. The best thing about this game for me, far and away, was the environments, the environmental design, like the level design, and the monster designs. Yeah. Absolutely incredible. I don't want to be like, breathtaking. Pause. Not gay, I promise. But yeah, breathtaking. 100% gay. In some place. Stop.
That was him.
No, but the environments are incredible. The monster designs are incredible. The only
Timmy, stop.
Jerome, go home.
Bad.
Get back in the cellar.
Damn it, Timmy. Anyway,
Tansy.
Oh no, not my dog.
Nah, not Tansy is a national treasure. Anyway, but yeah, the real thing that drags it down is the shoddy co-op kind of works a little bit, and then the combat. I've seen this style of gameplay done way way better in similar titles. Dark Souls, Bloodborne, which I mean, it's hard to compare any game to that because that's software's that's like the
Dark
pinnacle.
Souls remaster coming out, right?
There is, yes.
When is that?
Soon.
Soonish.
Review,
Just
maybe?
like Boruto.
Review may be coming soon.
Yeah, just like Shinobi Strikers.
Coming soon. I hate when they put coming soon at the end of the fuck ass trailer. Like, it's not coming soon. Like, get off me. You would have put a release date if it was coming soon. Stop. But yeah, no, it's a B-. The combat really didn't do it for me.
So all in all, overall, averages out to a B.
It does.
It's a B game.
If it's a game, if you enjoyed like Destiny or you enjoyed the combat of Dark Souls or like any FromSoft game, or if you just like boss fight games, because I know like I like games like that, I would definitely give it a try. Maybe wait if you have like a friend, go through it with the friend.
I would buy it at, I'm gonna say $39.99.
I was gonna say 40. Yeah.
30's good. I think 30's a good price.
Yeah, I would buy it at
because you're gonna get 40 good hours out of it.
Oh yeah,
you will definitely.
But you're not gonna finish it, and that kind of weighs on me. Is that I don't really want to finish it, but I do.
I hate games like that.
I want the game to be finished.
Yeah,
but I don't want to finish it. Just tough.
Needless to say, I think that we all follow the the $1 1 hour rule more or less.
I try to.
Yeah.
And
so I think that
I did not make it. So that's why I'm saying buy it at 40.
I think 40 is when you will get it without like having to force yourself, and then after that, it's a little bit of like begrudgingly like. Once you get yourself onto the game, then you'll be okay. But the matter is getting yourself onto the game. I got nothing else.
That's it.
Oh,
right.
Also, we are all first-time Monster Hunter players.
That's true.
Yeah,
I think that we said that at the beginning, but
just to make that clear,
we're not vets or anything of this series.
And
no
again, we haven't played through the whole game. Yeah. None of us have. We've all gotten to the same point where we have beaten the primary boss.
Is beating Zora Magnaros not the ending?
No.
That's like halfway point.
What?
You're not
Exactly. Yeah.
Halfway of the game
Yeah.
being finished?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not finishing that shit.
Exactly.
No.
Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share with people, please.
Please.
Watch our other reviews. We have other reviews. You have a few gameplays. I'm going to try to get more.
Try and actually become a channel instead of
Yeah.
just random.
Instead of just saying that we're going to do shit.
Facts. If you have any ideas for
Reviews.
future reviews, possibly leave those in the comment
Games.
section.
I mean, really, any ideas at all?
Any ideas? If you want to tell us we're shit,
That's fine.
comment section.
Well, I mean, I don't know about all that, but like constructive criticism is useful.
I just want some sort of interaction. It's so lonely out here.
So lonely.
It's
So
lonely.